Hello everyone. So you guys might know me as that bitch that posted a rant about NTPs before, and so pretty much I was talking to my ENTP good friend, and after like kind of giving her some advice and stuff, I noticed something about her and ENTPs. She was saying something about how like only a few people that she knows treat her like an actual human being with emotions and not like a computer, and that a lot of people treat her as though she has no emotions when she does. And it was funny because I got that same vibe from another ENTP friend of mine that I was talking to today. And so these were two occasions today where I kind of saw an ENTP at their rawest form, being like a little vulnerable with me, and even kind of admitting that they're in a desperate emotional place, which I know is hard for an ENTP to do. And I realized something, that for all the flaws that an ENTP or an INTP might have, there's just this fundamental sense that you get that they have the desire to be a good and just person. Like they want to be a good egg. They don't want to be a bad egg. They don't want to be a bad person. The struggle sometimes comes if they don't necessarily know what it looks like to be a good person, or maybe they don't understand how to manage people that have different measurements of what a good person looks like, or they have different values that they rank people upon. But I think the biggest reason what was I saying? I think the biggest reason that like they want to be a good person is because it's like they don't know how to look like a good person. I'm sorry I paused so much there. I got stuck for a second. I forgot what I was saying earlier. I'm sorry. Let me try and wrap this up. It's not that they don't know how to look like a good person. The reason why INTPs or ENTPs might not look like a good person is because they have this natural predisposition towards wanting to be just and wanting to be good. That they often are doing the right thing, sticking to their principles, and doing things for other people and for the good of the thing, and to try and be the bigger person and to try and be the hardworking person and all of that. They often they have a predisposition to do that. And so whenever they keep doing that and keep being the just person, and then nothing happens for them, and then their life doesn't change, and their luck doesn't turn around, and life just isn't fair, and something just stabs them and hits them right in the FI, it can make it really hard for an NTP to understand why you should keep living whenever life is not fair. It can make it really hard to understand, why should I try to be a good person if being a good person doesn't matter anyway, because bad things happen to good people? Why should I even try to be fair and just and principled in everything I do, whenever other people don't seem to care about that, and the world is not making it any easier on me for doing it? Sometimes it takes so long for the payoff to get there that you don't even know if there is a payoff, or you don't even know if there's a point. And I think that whenever you see an NTP say something that seems like they're kind of being an asshole, or kind of being just super blunt, or like annoying, I don't know what other word you want to use, when you see that behavior, they're mad at you. They're mad at the world. They're taking out their frustration on the fact that life does not make sense and life is not fair. Because people with introverted thinking, I deal with this myself, even though as my inferior, people with introverted thinking do not like the way that life does not make sense. And it is annoying whenever it's just not fair and that you can't see a rhyme or reason to it. Now, that might confuse some of you because you might think of NTPs as the types of people that say, well, life isn't fair, so get over it. That's because they know so strongly that life isn't fair that, oh my God, but it breaks them to know that life isn't fair. In fact, the only thing that has made me feel a little bit better as a TI user is whenever I view the world as a friendly place. Like that question of, do you live in a friendly universe? I know that's quoted from somewhere. Like, I think the only thing that keeps me going is literally trusting that there is a reason for things and that there is something, like there's karma or something. And I think that, like, when an NTP doesn't know that, then that's when they maybe take their feelings out on you or whatever. But no NTP would ever, like, the bad ones, you could say, are the ones that gave up on trying to be a good person because they pretty much decided that it didn't matter and that it wasn't going to bring them success and it wasn't going to bring them happiness, and that they pretty much concluded that being a good person is not really worth anything, and so they gave up. But they still feel that sense of wanting to be a good person. They just give up because they think it's impossible, because they think that life's not fair. They still are very aware and very critical of themselves when they aren't being as just of a person as they intended and set out to be. So, but I want to end this just video by saying, like, here is to those of you NTPs that are still trucking along, when you feel like there is nothing to live for, you feel like there's no reason to try, no reason to be a good person, no reason to try and reach success or reach happiness or anything, because it's not fair, and because whatever you do doesn't seem to work, and because, you know, I don't know, it seems to be hard on you guys. Like, it does not seem to be easy. A lot of ENTPs and INTPs maybe struggle knowing what their passion is and how to go for it, because they always are bound to wanting to do the rational thing that makes sense, and they don't really let themselves do things that don't have a reason for them. And they might feel judgmental of other people, but also in themselves in the same way. They always want to be a good person, and that's why it's like really hard for me to stay mad at an NTP, because they always mean well. Like, I don't know why that is. I mean, you could argue that everyone means well and that everyone's a good person, which I do believe everyone is naturally good, but not all intentions are good. And I think that TI, or not just TI, but the TI in an NTP really strives to hold themselves to like a high standard for its own sake, not because you feel like it, not because those are really your morals, but just for its own sake. So here's to you, ENTP or INTPs out there, who is still trying to be a good person and still trying to do the best thing, even though you don't feel very strongly like the signs or why that matters, and you don't really know if it does matter, and you're just doing it anyway for your principles. Like, for those of you that are still doing that, like, good luck to you. I love you and I see you. Like, that's really brave of you to keep doing that when you don't really feel the emotional motive to. like, especially those of you who have experienced a lot of trauma or pain, like in your childhood or in your life growing up, like, it's easier to give up. It's easier to give up and be an ENTP and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go completely numb. It doesn't matter. I'm just whatever. None of this matters. I don't need to be just because it's gonna hurt either way, so I just need to go numb. When you do that, that's the easier way. That's honestly what's easiest for an NTP's like psyche to do, would be to just revert to that behavior. But those of you that are not doing that and are just trying to do the right thing anyway, even though you might not have seen a payoff, like, hats off to you. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Please, I joined my Facebook group, which is linked below, Personality Typology for Self-Growth. And if you're interested in more like educational content of me like actually explaining how each of the functions work, and like some of my celebrity typings, and like some questions about your friends' types, or just anything that's a more educational based question and not like a rant video, I did just recently start a Facebook group for that down below, and it's $10 a month, but I plan to pack that with like educational content and like live Q&As, and it'll be like a lot on there. So if that interests you, I also have that linked below. So thank you so much for watching this video, and have a lovely day.